and none other than Steve Ellswick of Tesla Tech. Guys, the conference this year, 2022, August 10th to the 14th at the Crown Plaza Hotel, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Let's get your plane tickets and your reservations booked up now. We're trying to, there's something that happened to live conferences during COVID in the last 2 years, and that's kind of what sparked and started the APEC conference. Over at altpropulsion.com. That's our website. Currently, still working on getting my websites back up and online, but people can go to here and stay current with the events page. We just had a conference on Saturday, some interesting stuff, and we're going to be talking about the results of last night's lunar landing experiments. Sorry, I got to share my screen. This one. Oh, I gotta fix that. Never mind. Anyways, so the Tesla Tech Conference, allpropulsion.com. Let me post that link in the chat, just because I thought I was showing my screen, but I'm having issues with that right now. I have to, but I'll fix that on another time when I'm not. Anyways, I'm here with Steve Ellswick, and we're discovering the best kept secrets in science. Tesla technology, Tesla coils. There's a reason that students aren't taught about Nikola Tesla in schools, really. Generally, I had some good science teachers that actually did know about Tesla and did teach about him, but they weren't like super into him and all his stuff. They just knew that he was really responsible for a lot of the revolutions in radio and electromagnetic wave technology of the era, circa 1989 World's Fair, where he built a remote control electric boat, and totally just astounded audiences with his knowledge of engineering and how to utilize all the powers that we could unlock with these invisible waves that nobody knew about or really understood until 100 years ago, when Tesla began really unlocking those secrets of the universe. I had a great time every time I've gone to the conference. There's always interesting people to talk to, and there's something about the live experience and getting to see people and talk to them firsthand. Tesla Tech goes back a number of years. Steve, why don't you talk about Tesla Tech and where you came from, where we're at now?
Well, I first started doing conferences back in 1984 with the first International Tesla Symposium in Colorado Springs. And from there, I continued doing these conferences, because no one heard of Tesla. Our Tesla Symposiums are very formal events, kind of, in that we had written papers, and we published proceedings from each one. And our proceedings we published as hardbound books, because at that time our target was academia and the academic world, and the only way people would really believe in stuff is if it's in writing, and you had to get into the library. So by making a hardbound, it made the material respectable, and then turn around at the same time, got it into the libraries where it would be read. And from the humble beginnings, we evolved into the Tesla Society, and then we had added on the Extraordinary Science Conferences, which were strictly video recordings and no written papers. And then after I left, about 97, they went strictly video, and then they went under about 2 years later, but that was their own problem, nothing to do with me. In fact, they thought they could do my job, but it's what it really boiled down to. But when you wear about 3 or 4 different hats and you're cheap labor, you don't try to get rid of it. But anyway, then went and formed the exotic research, and that lasted all about 5 conferences maybe. Uh, all these conferences from the Tesla, or from Exotic Research and the Tesla Tech, are all online now, um, and and our YouTube, and you can access it through TeslaTech.info. We have a portal there we built, and on our portal, yeah, you notice that big yellow box there. You have a conference directory, and when you go into the conference directory, it lists the big yellow box on the top. It lists all the conferences and has a link to each conference, a playlist for each conference. Um, and on the right, you have the programs. If you want to read the programs, it's there. And if you want to go to visit the playlist, that's on your left. And then we also have
You ought to reverse the order of this so that the newest one's on the top and it goes back to this 2004 on the bottom. But other than that, this is awesome, Steve. This is like decades and decades of all the like history of this alternative research and technology.
yeah, and if you click on one, it will bring up the YouTube page, and it will have um, the playlist for that conference. And now we're working on the global science conferences. Um, all the ones that you see that don't have a red logo on, those I have converted. Glenn just hasn't gotten them uploaded yet. But we literally have 600 DVDs up there now, and I got about another 300 ready to go up here the next month. Most of these are accessible as members only, which is $10 a month, which gives you access to 24/7 to all of them. Yeah,
I was here. I met all these people.
there's a lot of people there. And if you go back to the initial screen there, I also have a speaker list there. So if you know who you're looking for, you can pull up the speaker directory and look up their name, and you see how many DVDs they got. And I've been working on that. It's an ongoing project. So, but anyway, after we start these exotic technology ones, we really got some really good speakers there. I mean, we have people like, probably our number one speaker is Max Miller, believe it or not, on the H2O stuff. Or, yeah, is it H2O? HHO. And he's our number one hit. Paul Pantone is a big hitter, but Paul unfortunately passed away.
They were doing all that Stanley Meyer technology, the water car stuff, right?
Yeah, that'd be Max Miller.
Max Miller, yeah.
And after I get the global sciences done, I have about another 10 years worth of those to get up there. Once I get up there, then I'll start putting up the Tesla Society one. And I don't know what I'm going to come up with. I'm trying to, if anyone has any of these DVDs, I'm sure it'll be interested in getting a copy of them so I can convert them over and put them up there. I do have a legal right to them because they bought my company, High Energy, and when they went bankrupt, they never paid me, and they also never included me in the bankruptcy, so I still have a valid claim. So I'll just put them up there and let the world enjoy them and let the technology live on. That's what we're here all about for the most part. The conference itself, though, is a put up or shut up show. We try to get people to bring their actual equipment in and demonstrate it, because in this field here, you have so many tales out there, that you don't know who to believe. And anymore these days, people just make up stories.
Well, even those days, there's a lot of stuff that was made up too. Even Tesla made up a lot of stuff. He said he was communicating with aliens and who knows what else. Well, maybe he didn't make it up, but that's another debate. But yeah.
Well, the big question is, okay, the basis for Tesla's claim is he was receiving was it 3 dots on his receiver in Colorado Springs, and he is the only guy in the world with a radio receiver and transmitter. So what is he supposed to expect? So he had a very valid reason for believing that. And at that time, you have Sir Percival there in England, talking about the great Martian civilizations and everything. So, you know, um, when you look at that, uh, when you look at from that perspective, he doesn't sound outrageous at all. I mean, you have uh, the Low Observatory was written by a guy whose whole basis at that time was the Mars thing. So I think Tesla had a very valid um, case, for transmit. And there's all kinds of weird stuff. You start talking about Mars. I mean, the world's first facsimile, wireless facsimile, when they turned it on, printed out the face on Mars. Now, what's that all about? And that was in a popular science thing way back when, in the 1920s. So,
Wait, the face on Mars in the 1920s? I thought that was like a 1970s satellite thing that started that whole. Or when was that Cydonia face on Mars? I gotta look this up now.
yeah, but when they invented the facsimile machine back in the 1920s, the first printout was the face on Mars. No one knew what it meant. The face that came out of there, but it looks just like the face on Mars. And we, by the way, in 1992, the Tesla Society had a Mars conference, and I do have that set of DVDs. And once I get them converted to DVDs, actually I have my VHS tapes. Once I get them converted to DVDs, I could go ahead and put those up too.
Now, the face on Mars is one thing, but have you seen the door on Mars?
That's a new thing.
That's the new thing. I mean, the face on Mars is like old news now. The door on Mars, however, is.
Yeah, I knew I should have shut that door.
And like I don't know. Do you want to be the first guy to go in there?
I believe there was a Martian society there. Sometimes you look at rock formations here on Earth, and sometimes they kind of like especially out here in the West. And sometimes it looks like, gee, these could be skyscrapers out here.
It reminds me of that movie, that early Schwarzenegger movie, Total Recall.
I remember that.
Yeah, and that was a bad flick. If people want to go watch a good flick about Mars and some stuff, basically it's about the first Mars society that they have set up like way in the future, and all the technology that they have and stuff, and Schwarzenegger's in this society. And there's even a nudity scene with like a hooker with 3 boobs. It's pretty cool. Just worth watching just for that alone. The makeup was incredible. But regardless,
that's when 2 is not enough.
Yeah, they had like in the end of the film, they found this like facility, and he has to put his hand on it like this, because the aliens apparently only had 4 fingers, not 5. And he goes, like on the thing, and then it opens this reactor, and all like his friends are about to die or something, right? And in this climax sequence, and maybe I'll ruin the film for you, but yeah, they unleashed the air. Basically, all the Martians had like the air on lock in these in this vaults underneath, and they release it, and it gets an atmosphere, and it was pretty cool film.
Yeah, they did a real good job of like when they're exposed to that Martian atmosphere, and the people are basically suffocating, and their faces are literally exploding because it's like in a vacuum and that, and then all of a sudden the air comes out of nowhere, and completely fills the pressure there to raise it so that don't happen. I mean, that's incredible.
They had this idea about makeup technology and stuff in the future, man. It's pretty badass, and it has this brainwave machine that like he basically hooks into. They erased his memory, but when they hook him into it, he has like the recall of what really happened. They erased the memory of it because, of course, they couldn't tell the people that hey, Mars now has an atmosphere. Like, not like they'll find out eventually, but yeah, I don't know. It was a cool flick. Besides Total Recall, let's talk about Total Recall on all these 30-year, like how many years does this go back? It goes back to 87. 87 all these conferences go back to. I got to share this window now. Hold on. I'm not sharing this. I have to reshare every time on this for some reason.
Well, there's something about a conference. And I've been to a lot of the conferences, not all of them, but I've been to a lot of them. And it just brings back memories. I mean, you get these videos, you start watching them, and I guarantee you, if you've been to one, it'll bring back memories. And it will also make you wish that you were there,
I
So,
know some of these like guys are gone now, and this is incredible that you put all this up online for free, because normally it was available only by these DVDs that were only accessible through the conference. And God forbid, what if something like I'm so glad you're preserving this legacy and of information. This is
well,
so important for the community. You don't even understand.
well, we have two tiers. Now, one is subscriptions, and I encourage everyone to become a subscriber. That's free, and we have 300 videos up there that are free. And then everything else going up, they're going to be members only. But what we're doing is we're making so many free every week, and then we pull so many off, to keep at 300. But there's always a constant flow of free information up there. And like I say, like what we charge are like $9.99 a month.
This is cool. This is the whole fringe, man. There was some really interesting, people with some far out ideas there at, even 2021 when I was there.
Yeah, I can't wait for 2022. But
yeah, this year is going to be incredible. Again, I'll share your screen for that.
Yeah, the hotel rooms this year are going to be $82. Start at $82, and that includes a free buffet in the morning. And we're having a full buffet, and it's going to be out on the balcony there, or not balcony, patio, right next to the conference center, and you can walk in, grab your food, and then truck off into the speaker room, and eat there, or you can eat out in the patio, whatever you want to do.
It's the same hotel, so we're gonna have that top floor room too, right?
Right.
Yeah, that top floor room is so.
I'll be getting there on the Saturday before the conference, and I'll have that room then.
All right, so we got to hold that room down. I'm gonna have the mobile stream set up like really good this year. Last year we did it, we got it done, but the mobile setup that I'm gonna have this year is gonna be it's gonna be even better. We're gonna be able to hear everybody and have it'll be a great conference.
We actually have that whole conference area we have. And
we had a bunch of people come up from the conference to have our little live stream that I did from the conference too. So for the people that couldn't join us in person, but it's always awesome to come down. And this is a great family hotel. There's a pool. There's lots of activities. I mean, Albuquerque's, it's a city, but there's some really cool stuff to do with the family around Albuquerque, for the tourists and stuff. So it's definitely a good spot.
Albuquerque is a science city. You have like the Museum for the Atomic Energy,
dude,
and you have the.
I told you what happened last time, right? So we came out to Tesla Tech and we contacted these people, and we went actually right out a couple miles from there. And we went to their facility. They're the biggest wholesaler of used electronics equipment from Area 51, Sandia National Labs, Los Alamos National Labs, like all the national laboratories, like sell to this one supplier, and then they are the main distributor. And they said this constantly Russian and Chinese guys buying like up all this old stuff, like it's like, oh my God. So we get like to pick over the scraps. But the scraps are just incredible. We found all kinds of cool stuff there, and including the stuff that we needed to do the exact experiments that we wanted to try. And yeah, so there's a lot of stuff out in Albuquerque for the science nerd as well. If you're on board for the science, yeah, you guys.
Yeah, they got like Kirkland Air Force Base there. They got like the 12 story high trestle, which is built entirely out of wood and no metal at all. And it's big enough to bring a 747 on there. And they have like these these cables that come down along each side of it, and they zap it, with the lightning there, off of Mark's generator.
Yeah.
You have Alamogordo down there. You have White Sands, further south. Albuquerque is in the center of our basically our what used to be the space industry when it first got started. Most people don't realize it, but our first space base basically was in Roswell. Unbelievable, because you have Walker Air Force Base where we had all of our nuclear weapons at, which is probably why the aliens were there.
Yeah, that's one theory. Yeah,
definitely. You also had the Goddard Space Center right there, or that's where Goddard was launching his rockets off of. Is right there by Roswell. All the paperclip scientists, when they first brought them over, like Ron Braun and company and them, they brought them in through.
We actually took a guy out to Roswell last summer while we were there and tried to locate the crash site. So I'm a little bit more familiar with it now. And maybe we could get a group together, organize it now so that we can do another expedition out to Roswell while we're there. It's about a 4-hour drive. It's through the countryside to get out there. It's, maybe with the raising gas prices, it's going to be.
Yeah, and along the way there, you're running into the Trinity test site. That's within about 60 miles of Roswell.
So this is all in the same area.
And then if you go west on US 60, you run into the city
60
location up on the plains there, and they have the whole city sea tide. They search for extraterrestrial life there. And,
hey, no, it's actually down here. It's called the array, the very large array. It's called.
Yeah, it's off of 60. It's down south.
Very large array. Boom.
Yeah,
down south. Boom. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And, this is epic. So this is movie Contact. It's you've seen the pictures, man. It's this place. That's the place. You want to go see that? Where that is? That's right here, man. It's like a 2-hour, 3-hour drive from the hotel where the conference is at.
You can make the whole conference.
We went and saw Roswell. That site has been so picked over. It is the number one. It is like the mecca of all ufology. You know what I mean? That site's been picked over. I don't think we're going to go to Roswell this year. You know what I mean? I don't think we're going to find anything. And I think if we do, it was planted there by the military. It'll probably spread, mountains of crap debris all over and metal all over the whole field so that, anyone who did find anything, it would just confuse the whole situation. So, and then the accessibility to the public is another question about, because it was the Roswell crash site is not in Roswell. It's in Corona, New Mexico. And the land was bought out by a rancher, and we actually met the rancher and talked to him, and he doesn't want people on that property. He doesn't want people to know about it. He's kind of just trying to raise cattle and hold like a farm down, and he kind of views the whole attention as a nuisance a little bit. And I didn't really get the feeling that he was connected to any, intelligence agency or anything, but it's just kind of like nuts. It's like the whole field is contaminated with metal debris and other stuff because the government dug up whatever crashed there. They had teams of Army guys, go over the crash site, shoulder to shoulder, like it was a murder scene, and they were looking for a body and pick up every single piece of debris, including digging up all the ground in the immediate areas. So like there's nothing left. And then they spread a whole bunch of crap metal around that whole area. So there's really nothing out there. I don't think we're going to, Roswell.
Well, there's two sites there, Jeremy. One is in Corona, which is in north. And then you have
one's up here by the very large array. Actually, it's right down here in this area. Sorry,
there should be a memorial at the Roswell one though.
It's called the Plains of St. Augustine, and it's right down in this area, generally in this hillside on the other side of this. But maybe we could go down there while we visit the very large array, and we'll go to the second Roswell crash site this year. That would be a better use of our time than I think trying to go out to that Roswell The Roswell crash site, the one in Corona, all the way over here, is really hard to locate, and even finding the right road to pull down, which is this cattle road B007, was very difficult.
Well, I know the famous one for 1947, the one that's near Roswell. That's supposed to have a memorial there. I don't know if they ever got that planned or not, but we were supposed to have a memorial and everything at part of the ceremony. I built the website for it and everything. But then you had the Heaven Gate people go and do their things, and everybody pulled out. Coca-Cola folks finally all pulled out after they spent all that money on it. Because of the Heaven Gates people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of these cults, and a lot of them, I think, were run by the wrong entities and stuff. But I won't get into that. All these weirdos. But yeah, you have to go way down, and it's not quite to the airport in the dead Mexican tank.
And then we found out, after they got canceled and everything, the day we were supposed to have our stuff there, they had a huge rainstorm through there. It flooded the whole thing. And had we gone through that celebration, all those people probably been electrocuted from all the electronics we had there. So there's grace in everything, I guess.
Wait a minute. Say that again. You had a lot of electronics set up there?
Yeah, because we're going to have a big celebration, when they were going to erect the monument to it, because this was the 50th anniversary.
Wow.
And it was going to be a big event. They had this monument design and everything. And they're going to have like a couple bands there, and, it would have been kind of like a Coachella, only it would be like to celebrate the aliens coming, whatever.
Well, Mark's here. So Mark actually went out to the crash site with me last year.
Hey, Steve. Hey, Jeremy.
Hey, what's up, dude?
We're actually getting the samples ready from last night. Steve, we had a lunar eclipse party last night. We were casting some samples, and right now we're marking them up and logging them into the computer so we can see if there's any crystalline differences for the ones that were cast during the eclipse. Supposed to be differences in the crystalline shape. Tom is actually out there looking for the microscope. We have a microscope, USB microscope. So we'll be able to get like some in-depth look at these samples and see exactly what they look like. We did it in bismuth and a tin lead alloy, and that's based off Bob Greener's work. So how are things going for this Tesla Tech conference?
Well, it's moving steadily along. I still need about 2 more speakers here, and I'm hoping that perhaps some listeners here tonight might want to speak and contact me.
I put together a conference for Tesla Tech. I've been trying to put together like one for Tim Ventura for a while, and I just every time I get working on it, it's just so much because I just keep expanding and adding stuff, and I really got to like either have like a 2-hour time slot, or I got to like really work on this thing and narrow it down. Man, but I'd love it. I could talk for 2 hours. Like I said, you should set me up with a time slot, especially if I'm going this year.
I'll get with you on that.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
We need to put an abstract together, but
it will be on the UAP task force debriefing. So those events are actually happening tomorrow. There's going to be a UAP task force in Congress or the House Select. It's going to be in the House, and they're going to have 2 Pentagon intelligence experts present on what we know about UAP and why Congress and the American people should be concerned or at least interested. So I put together my own intelligence summary and report on stuff. So that would be cool if I could present that, or we could talk about scoping the kind of summary of.
Actually, I think that would be very good enough to put together a briefing. Because there's so much information coming out now, and there's a whole lot of misinformation.
Yeah, I just want to
Yeah.
focus on the actionable intelligence and the technology, because that's like there's so much misinformation and misdirection and disinformation, and it's just distraction to get people confused and sent down the wrong paths of research. And I've seen it for the past 15 years, 17 years since I created my Alien Scientist channel, and we're done with that. We're beyond it. We're gonna rely on the science and just go where that leads us purely. And I think,
Well, I think we need to get more anti-gravity stuff, real anti-gravity stuff out there. Um, I believe the government already has it. Tell you the truth, I worked on the
Mark, and I think I've seen the government cover up some amazing things and some real serious information. So I don't put anything past them nowadays. But again, we're on for that. We're on for that proof. I want to prove it to this community. I want to prove it to everybody. I want to have that smoking gun, and I want to be the one to discover it, even if I feel like that's what I was put here to do on this planet. So,
well, Mark Cypher was at one of my podcasts a couple weeks ago, and he had a very good presentation on Tesla and how Tesla invented the particle beam weapon, and that it was very good. But in 1984, I was down there at Kirkland, okay, on this tour, they give for the graduating engineers, they want to recruit us. And they let us play with that laser, that laser, airborne laser thing, that was making such a big deal of these days. Well, they had already figured out the worst part, which was how to keep focused in an atmosphere, which is wavering, right? And they figured out how to do that then, and that was 1984, and everyone acts like this is really hot super stuff, Well, no, it's old hat.
Yeah, that SDI program that Reagan initiated built a lot of the technology we still use today, and it's a shame that more presidents don't take such an active stance with science. The Biden administration is probably a lot better than the Trump administration, which was, even though I like what Trump did for a lot of things, I just think that he destroyed. He had no concept of science. I think, I don't know. Trump is just a wild card, and I think that it just screwed up the American politics in a lot of ways, and we're in this recovery zone or this. I don't know. I don't want to talk about politics. Let's talk about science, man. Politics is so. Ugh.
Well, I will say he was a disruptor, and that's kind of what we are when it comes to regular science. We are disruptors,
Yeah, we're disruptors in the science field. The same thing that kind of Trump did to politics, but not really.
But the problem, with the science, it seems like this country is going away from science. And you look at
it's hard and harder for the layman to sort the wheat from the chaff, and nowadays it's science by consensus or agreeability, and that's not how science is done. That's not how logic works. It's not appeal to authority. It's not appeal to popularity or popular opinion or public belief, which we saw a lot of that during the Trump administration. There was so much brainwashing that was going on with the whole thing.
By Twitter or something like that.
Oh my God. And then he got banned from Twitter. I mean, come on. He got banned from Twitter. Like,
it's more about Twitter than it does
Twitter. Like, come on. This is
he's back now though. But that's more about Twitter than about Trump.
I don't think he's back yet.
He's not back. It's still
he's back for about a week. Yeah.
Musk wants to put him up there, but Musk hasn't finished his deal yet.
No, he's back. He's back on Twitter.
But anyway,
this is like crazy what's going on.
People need to do science, to do the questions and do the research. And my biggest problem with the scientists, even in the universe, is that too often they get on their theories and everything, and then they refuse to look at the experimental results, Yes. And that's why we have extraordinary technology, extraordinary science. And we turn around and we promote people to bring the research and show the results, and then tear the results apart, and work on that, adjust the theory if need be. Yeah. So
Yeah, well, or just add more perturbations to the theory because, like, they always argue how good our current theories are, but they still don't. There's still gaps, and that's what I always try to tell people is like, you think you understand all of physics and all of science, and I talk to a lot of smart people out there, even the top scientists and stuff. I try to approach these people all the time. I go to MIT and Harvard and sometimes, and I want to do more of this like man on the street quizzes where we go up to like MIT and Harvard students right in the it's got to be in the fall, right when they start going to school and they actually have time. But I want to like start like asking these new students like deep questions about some of this stuff, like, oh, like, what do you know? And there are gaps in our theoretical and our current understanding of physics. And if you don't think there are, and you think that we know everything and that we're so smart, it's like that's the stupidest thing ever, because knowledge is infinite. It can just be built and built and built and built upon. This multiverse of complexity is just, it's
and then
crazy.
and then then all these facts and everything, they're all based on specific conditions, like the speed of light. Well, the speed of light in vacuum is different than the speed of light through glass. Uh, you have boundary conditions, and you have the initial conditions, and then you have the steady state conditions, And when I went to school, we had to learn how to solve for each one of those. But a lot of times it's taught without all that. They're just taught this is a fact, and well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
Well, it's an interesting time now because computers have enabled the scientific community to have so much modeling ability and so much computational ability that really our science our science hasn't really caught up, and the mathematics isn't strong enough. Like this Common Core math just destroyed our math education system in the public schools, and they're not teaching real math, and kids aren't really growing up understanding math very well. I know that it was just not well taught.
I would agree with we're not well taught. I don't necessarily agree about Common Core or anything. I know, like when I taught for English or language as an example, I was taught with what do you call them? Where you have a word segment.
It's just new experimental methods of teaching, and there's a lot of controversy over the new methods and stuff. So yeah, Common Core is an example I brought up. So because it's just I feel like there's when I learned combinatorics and some of the college math, it really put a lot of the pieces together for me in ways that like I didn't understand before. And I don't know if I just had to, it was just because I had to build up to that level with my math understanding, or if it was just because like it's the attention span that just didn't, because I didn't really want to learn math, and it was like one of the most boringest subjects when I always remember, and like up until middle school and high school. So it's like, I don't know. I find that there's more and more. I find that your mathematical ability like determines your aptitude in the sciences for like what level you're going to compete at, and it's important for it's just as important for the theoretical physicists to pay attention to the experimental scientists, the guys in the actual lab tinkering and building stuff, as it is for us, in the lab tinkering and building stuff to, kind of get some kind of understanding and appreciation for the higher maths. But they dumb us all down. Yeah, that's the consensus, is that I feel like we're being dumbed down, and it's. There's something to be said about trying to dumb stuff down, because like you want the layman to understand it. You want to understand why I have 100,000 subscribers and only 41 people watching my live stream. It's because the information has been dumbed down, and I don't know.
Well, I know when I went to school in college, my first year, it had been 8 years between the time I graduated from high school to the time I went to college. I was in the military, and you kind of lose your mathematical prowess there. And so here I am trying to learn calculus, or I'm relearning algebra, trying to learn calculus, having to teach myself trigonometry because I never had it in high school. and they're trying to teach me physics, based on calculus and that. And I got a C in my first two physics classes, but then I had a teacher in the third semester of physics, and she was teaching as a basic arithmetic physics, so you get the physics and not the math, and all of a sudden I could understand everything. I got an A in that class. My math classes.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
you
I was the same way. It was really hard for me to understand the math. Then when I started learning physics and I started being able to see, like, oh, well, this is an equation and it means this, and this is how you can. It just helped me understand what the math meant. Like F equals ma. Like, why is it multiplied? Why isn't it not squared? What does squared mean? What is what does all this math terminology mean in the longer run, and that's what really opened up for me, is actually learning the physics, because it actually gave me some application for the math, what I was learning.
Yeah, but then they try teaching in calculus, you lose that, you're so busy trying to figure out the calculus, you can't get the math. Um, I got a D minus in Calc 2, but in Calc 3, I flipped it around, and by then I was getting A's, and I got A's and B's in all my math classes after that. And in my final year, I was doing graduate level communication theory, which is all math, and all these long equations they have, it ends up being a circuit, But most people never make that connection. Yeah, that brings up some memories there, looking at that military equipment.
Yeah, man, you were an old 90 millimeter guy, right? Huh?
Yeah, 90 millimeter. Carried it on my shoulder, up and down the hills of Korea for my first year. But then I got to work in the motor pool and I got smart. I went and got me a driver's license, So next year when I went back to Korea, I became a driver because I had a driver's license, And so just got to know how to play the game, I was a tank killer. And then my last year I was Pershing missile maintenance, and those are the nukes, the Pershing 1A. And they're just coming out with the Pershing 2, which from Germany put Moscow right within range. So that's one of the reasons the Berlin Wall fell, is the Pershing 2.
Persian too.
Yeah. I worked on the 1A. Pershing as in General Pershing. Pershing. Yeah.
Oh,
But I think, everyone should strive to learn about math and everything. Yeah, I see him lifting the warhead there in the middle.
this is cool stuff too, though. Like, math's not for everyone, but it's important for people to, like, always work on your math skills and try to hone your math skills and try to learn more. But math's not for everyone. There are some people that are just, like, better at certain things. So it's all
Well, you
about.
need to know good enough to make change.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's really about, like, the discipline that you put into it, and it's kind of like karate, or like, physical fitness. It's like, if you're not willing to, diet and exercise, then, it's the same kind of thing with math. If you're not willing to sit there and work on the skills and hone them and build on them, then you're not going to get anywhere with it. So
Well, the more you do, the easier it is.
yes, definitely.
And then you'll find, like, if you do the higher level math, you go back to the lower level and you're going, gee, I can't believe how easy this is, The problem we run into, though, is the scientists sometimes, they hide their work in the math. And that's to come on our magazine and that. I try to keep equations to a minimum because I feel I lose about 25% of the people with each equation, So you kind of box it off and put it to the side where it's not important, because the important thing is the concept, and that's.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, every time you throw an equation up on the board, you lose most of the people.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So that's why we'll keep that stuff to the people that are interested in that. We'll have a database for them and stuff. But this is more about presenting, the core findings and our core, like, because there's so much information, and now it's up to us, the people who are the presenters of like these conferences and the organizers of these conferences, to basically put the information together and then present it to the audience so that it's digestible, it's not boring, and yeah, that's it. It's digestible and not boring. I think those are two key things.
And
Right?
relevant.
What's that?
What is this?
Relevant.
Relevant. Well,
What
that
if
means
it's-
not boring. I think that's covered.
One of the things about coming to the conference, a lot of people are getting scared out there because they see these huge gas prices, like $6 a gallon, and they figure it's going to cost them a fortune to go on a trip or anything. Well, I just went to San Mateo from Las Vegas and back. It cost me $200 round trip. Okay, if you plan ahead, and of course my vehicle gets 28 miles to the gallon. So if you plan ahead, use the gas buddy. Okay, it will tell you where the cheapest gas in a town is, and it makes it all of a sudden very affordable. And like we have something to eat every night, so really, you're looking at getting there, and then the hotel. And if you sign up for the conference now, you can get like 30% off. So you can save money there. We try to save people money in every way possible. But if you just do a little bit of planning ahead, it doesn't have to be the nightmare. Even if you're taking a plane, if you get the tickets at the right time, you got a good price on them.
Yeah, and for anyone looking to fly into Albuquerque, there is a direct flight on JetBlue from JFK, which is pretty good value. Also, I'll tell you the hotel there, the Crown Plaza Hotel, we have breakfast and dinner covered, and Steve Ellswick really puts on a great party at night, with the dinner parties. So it's a very great value from a conference. I've been to quite a few conferences since my interest in anti-gravity started a couple of years ago. Me and Jeremy have been to Alien Con. I just came back from my second MUFON conference, and I could tell you that none of them rise to the level of the party that Steve Ellswick puts together. So it's actually fun.
So
Yeah, there was an awesome crew there last year. I mean, and then the other years that I've went, there was also just many really memorable and awesome people there, and man, it'd be awesome to get this conference off the ground and popping for 2022. And I encourage more people to share information about this. We got to try to see if we can get Nassim Harriman to come back, man. He's got a huge following.
who's that?
Nassim of the Resonance Project. He was there in 2009 when I went. That was early on in his career when he was really just starting out.
Yeah, well, conference is a way for the old guys and the young guys to get together and kind of start doing a passing of the torch type of deal here, because change is coming. I'm not gonna be here, but if I see 20 years, I consider myself lucky. That put me close to 90. It's tough to think about.
This is them right here, these guys. Oh, that's not there. All right, let me just reshare my screen.
But I think, we need to get more people interested in this stuff.
Nassim's got a huge audience of people that are interested in this stuff, man. We gotta get him to come down and talk about some of this. He was there in 2009.
And that was when we were at the Nativo.
Yeah.
There was some.
Oh, Joseph Farrell was there too in 2009. I got to meet Joseph P. Farrell. He came to one of your tests. He came to.
Yeah, he was one of our speakers.
Yeah.
And that's in the TV. That was an interesting year. You know, there's a whole lot of stuff that happened in the background there. But what we get is gets these people though. Some of them they get to the point where, like at this expo I was at, I had two of the vendors there tell me, well, they don't show up at anything, with the 10,000 people, without 10,000 people there. And I'm looking around, and here this guy had all these vendors there, and he had his speakers, but there wasn't any audience hardly there. I'm saying, what are you doing here? So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Joseph Farrell. This question, his theory of all over Heaviside rewriting Maxwell's equations. Yeah, definitely check out the Feynman Dyson paper. Richard Feynman and Freeman Dyson wrote a paper on some of that, and they come out with that B cross B field factor, and there's some interesting stuff in there if you are into the literature and want to dig.
One of the things about quaternions is no one is talking about quaternions before Chuck Parker, who spoke at this last conference, put together an article for our magazine, the Tesla Society magazine, about quaternions, and explain what they were and everything. But see, the thing that never seemed to people didn't catch on is we don't use quaternions. Okay, they stopped using quaternions in Maxwell's time, not because they were trying to suppress anything, but when he's trying to solve these mathematical problems, sometimes if you don't have a supercomputer, you can't do it with a quaternion. But if you take some of the factors and take them down to zero, approximate them as zero, and drop them off, then the equation becomes solvable. And that's why they then have Maxwell's equations taught in quaternions today. Because they're unsolvable without a supercomputer.
Yeah, well, in the future we'll have these supercomputers that will be able to do all this, and we won't have to worry about that. But it's up to us to kind of learn enough about the math and the science to build this stuff so that future generations will have these kinds of things. Just like we have calculators, so we don't have to sit there and do stupid number arithmetic in our heads. We can just do it on a calculator now, and you just learn how to do it on a calculator, and it's way easier and way faster. And of course, they teach the old archaic methods just in case, so people know what the calculator is doing. Just like our normal, math lab. Mathematica. Sorry.
And the component that got dropped out was the gravity component on those electromagnetic equations. And like I say, I'm sure the military, back rooms, they use them all the time now because they have a supercomputer. When I went to Albuquerque in '84, we got to see the supercomputer they had right there at the Air Force Base, Kirkland, which was kind of like across the street from the DOE, where they did all the planning for the nuclear tests in Nevada. All that planning is done in Albuquerque.
Yeah, the Titan, right? That's the Titan supercomputer.
Yeah. And that's still a cray at that time.
The crays.
Yeah.
The crays are I'm
showing my age.
Yeah, I remember.
These are in the 80s, And Seymour Cray moved to Colorado Springs,
They have some pretty interesting computers out there, but the quantum computers is the next generation. They're going to be 100,000 times faster than any of these the fastest machines today, which are of course like 100,000 times faster than the Crays of the 70s. So the next generation of supercomputers is just going to be on a whole nother level, man. It's amazing what we're going to approach in the future, and eventually we're going to be able to realize the resolution of the quantum vacuum, and we're going to have the ability to create a interfaceable touch screen with reality. I don't know how else to put it. That's where I think we're going with this in the future.
Well, if you keep a track on my conferences and that, you kind of look at it, you see that I have more and more quantum stuff going in there, and there's a lot more subtle energy.
We got to get some cold fusion, man. I got to reach out to the cold fusion people and see if we can get some cold fusion people at your conference, man. We can get more speakers. We could, totally try to. I'm helping, as best I can.
The problem is, a lot of our original cold fusion guys, they're no longer with us.
Oh yeah.
Or they're totally retired. You're talking like 90 plus.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's to come. We need to get out there and try to get more people on tape. Especially these old timers. Get them before they're gone. And it's just a delicate balance. But it does take money, which is why I do have a paid subscription. I encourage people to become a member, for like that $9 a month. And you'd be surprised how helpful it is. Oh yeah, now they got this new thing out there. I don't know if you're aware of it, but Super Things. Have you seen that yet?
No. What's that?
Well, underneath the like when you're watching a video or something, a regular video off of YouTube, they'll have a little strip there, and on that little strip, it has a thing says thanks, and if people really like it, they click on the thanks, and it gives them an opportunity to donate anywhere from $1 to $50. A one-time thing, and they get like a big explosion. Like when you open it up.
The super chats and stuff. Those are you talking about the
super thanks? Super thanks. I just signed up for that this weekend.
Because they have the super stickers and the super chats. I know.
I don't know what super chats. I'm trying to figure that one out. And now
that's how the big guys make all their money, dude. I watched Tim Pool. I got on Tim Pool last year. I'm trying to get back on him this year, man, because I could really use the boost in my shadow band channel. Man, 46 people. This is like crazy for this many subscribers. I only have 46 people watching them on my live stream. But anyways,
it's a start.
We're getting there. We're gonna get out to some of these bigger channels and stuff, and try to keep the collaboration going. But the super chats are essential. I've watched Tim Pool make 50 grand. Not 50 grand. I've watched David Wilcox make like $2 grand a night. Doing one live stream. Every live stream. Imagine doing a live stream. I could do a live stream once a week and make $2 grand. That would be an awesome paycheck. But Jesus, and I do way better research than that guy. That guy's a total fraud, total charlatan. Anyways, yeah, don't have David Wilcox at your conference.
I'm not a big fan of his.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys are out there and they're raking in the money and they're not doing anything to promote the science or anything.
I know it's so hard. Then the guys that are
actually the opposite of that. Steve is all about bringing the people together. He's not getting wealthy off of this. He doesn't have a Lamborghini out front.
No. In fact, I helped him fix his truck. I helped him fix his truck at the last conference. Right? I was out there with your buddy Chuck Tripp. There's another. Oh man, Chuck needs some help too, man.
My hat goes off to you, Steve, for putting this together. It's really an amazing conference, and it's so welcoming. It's like I've been to this other conference from down in Arizona where the PhD scientists are all there, and they all have this attitude. It's kind of like there's a tension in the air. You could almost cut it with a knife, and they're your bow tie isn't on straight, and if you didn't wear the button up suit and everything, then you're just not part of that group. You need to have your PhD. You need to have all this shit in order to fit in. Whereas at Tesla Tech, everything flows. People are there with real live presentations, and I came during a pretty slow year, which was during the pandemic. People were afraid, but and there was quite a few presentations going on over there, which was pretty amazing. Hands-on presentations. There were certain exhibits that you could actually participate in, such as the healing saunas. Me and Jeremy got in those for a bit. The water car that came down. We had the APEC conference going on in the lounge upstairs in our little secret room over there, and that was quite a party. It was an amazing time. It's actually something that I'm looking forward to from all the conferences I've been invited to. I'm most excited about Tesla Tech 2022.
Anyway, Jeremy, if you could pull up that other chart I put up there.
Oh, yes, dude.
Yeah, see, now this line here goes underneath of every video there. You got to do the ups, dislikes.
That's on your
then you have a thanks.
videos.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what you want people to do is click on that. Yeah.
Where do you find that, dude?
That was in the monetization, in the super chats in that same area.
Like I'm trying to go through
your
tech videos. I went to a random video and I'm trying to find that where I can do that.
Hello.
Oh, there it is. One of your new videos. It's got that. It's got that thanks button. Show support with a super thanks.
Yeah, they don't allow you to do it on live streams. They don't let you do it on premieres. Better than that? Yeah.
Dude, this is what I need. This is how people can show me their favorite videos on my channel and be like, I want more content like this. Is go to the video on this Tesla Tech right here and click this super thanks. Look at this. $2, $5, $10, or $50.
Yep.
And you can write a custom comment that gets boosted. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm amazed with it. And now they're coming out with membership gifting, where you can give someone a 1 month membership.
That's awesome. That's an awesome way for organic people to fund, disclosure.
Yeah.
They can go to we gotta go to videos and post stuff with that too to boost it to the top. That's key. I'm glad I knew about this new feature in YouTube because now we can.
Once you sign up for it, it changes all of them automatically. So
yes, let's exploit this, guys. You know what to do. Let's figure out something.
Yeah, another funding that we get right now is going towards this conference because I signed a contract for today, and then $20,000 bill I'm faced with. So any help will come in handy. But
the conferences aren't cheap, I'm sure, and the hotel and everything to rent out all those rooms and the conference halls and everything else. So yeah, I mean, you didn't have to tell the exact number and everything, but man, yeah, I understand. It is what it is, and it seems like a lot of money to anyone who hasn't organized something like this before, but whatever. I'm sure. I'm hoping that we get enough people to go out there. I know I'm going to be there, and I hope that I get at least some of the people to want to. Maybe we can get Tim Ventura on board to make because we need we have APEC conference, right? I
was telling him that he should come down. If he comes down to any conference, he should come to Tesla Tech.
Yeah, he used to go to Tesla Tech back in the day, right, Steve?
Yeah.
So he went back in the day. Like if we could have a place, because COVID changed a lot of things, right? With conferences, how conferences are. That's why we created. That's why we came together with APEC, because we saw how Estes Park was held in response to COVID, and we were like, dude, we can do this. This would be epic. Let's do it. Let's call it Epic, but with an A.
APEC, yes.
So we did it, and but there's something different about having, a meeting in person, and it would be cool to have like APEC like in person too, like because
We should
obviously
do it at least once a year, maybe. At least every 2 years, we should have one where it's in person.
Albuquerque's a good spot. I really like it because it's so close to all kinds of cool stuff out there that you could take. Like I found last year I wanted to go on a million field trips, but I think this year we'll go to the very large array, and we'll go to the second Roswell crash site out at the Plains of St. Augustine, and I think.
And don't forget to take the balloon trip.
Disappointment. There wasn't much there.
I know the crash sites are kind of like really remote and really far out, and just like, all right, we hiked all this way for rattlesnake. Like I was afraid of stepping on a rattlesnake. Remember?
Yeah, I was too. It really was very remote.
Middle of nowhere, bro. You step on a rattlesnake, it's like boom, you're done. Like you're done, dude. Like,
I mean, it was kind of cool that we met the rancher next door. That was pretty random.
Maybe we'll get like some gators. I'm gonna get some gators to wear like next time I bring out there, so I don't have to worry about the rattlesnakes. You know what I mean? So like I get some thick.
If you make enough noise, they won't bother you.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like if you really hear you coming, they're not gonna bother you. But
it's not like you're hiding out from the Indians or anything. You don't have to be quiet. Just make noise, and the wildlife scatters.
Yeah.
I lived in that.
Very large array seems an interesting thing to check out.
I didn't grow up in rattlesnake territory and stuff, so I they got possums and raccoons up here in the Northeast, but really not much else.
Raccoons can be nasty.
If you have the opportunity, you should take a balloon ride.
Oh yeah, I saw the balloon rides there from the hotel. You could see the balloons going by. They have like a balloon. You can get the hot air balloons and do the balloon rides.
Yeah,
that would be cool too, man.
Range riders. I did that one year.
What? Like we got to be like some of these guys like Neil deGrasse Tyson and stuff, and be like, all right, we're gonna like rent out a balloon ride with alien scientists, because then I'm stuck with you. Like. If I'm going on a balloon ride, we're going up in the sky, we're going high up, and we're going to be stuck together for at least like 2 hours.
Yeah, so, you start early in the morning
while
the air is cool.
High,
and then you get you. And these guys know how to guide these things. Believe it or not, they can control it to some degree.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
How do you control a balloon? You're like I'm just a sucker to the wind wherever the wind takes me. I mean, control the altitude with sandbags and stuff, but like
the altitude and the currents, you just gotta know where the currents are, you see. And these guys have been doing it for years, so they know how to maneuver with those currents,
I guess
the air currents.
They're like, all right, if we go up to 20,000 feet right here.
I don't think you go that high, but
not 20, maybe
2,000. Pretty high, and you don't. It's kind of weird because I don't like heights,
No, I didn't go on 20,000.
But on a balloon, it was kind of.
This weekend, I'm going to a paramotor fly-in. Down in Virginia. I fly the backpack motor you put on your back, and you have the kite overhead. You go fly.
Yeah, Mark's got the paraglider, dude.
Yeah.
I'm crazy like that.
I got to do that. I still need to do that, man. That's just like I just turned 40, man. I should have done that for my birthday.
Well, come down here. We'll give you a lesson there.
I'm going to strap Steve to me, and we're going to bring him up.
You need like a 42-meter kite for that, at least. You better run.
Steve, you can run still, right?
Some of that stuff, like roller coasters, the big roller coasters, it'd probably kill me.
Yeah, probably. I know. That's how
It's like a backpack. It's like a backpack roller coaster because you could, design your own roller coaster as you're flying. You pull hard enough one way, you'll be spinning in a spiral down.
Yeah. But at least you have a chance of recovering. But on a roller coaster, it's just something about when you just drop, and your chest goes in your throat,
Steve, are we going to do the headphone dancing thing at night again?
I have no idea. That woman come out of nowhere. She was a friend of those guys who did the
Yeah.
urban.
Oh, I have those people.
Yeah.
I met them, and they gave me their contact information. I have to go back and look through because I met so many people there.
Jeremiah.
We got to get them to come back, dude.
And well, he doesn't have the money. And his uncle that arranged the whole thing, he passed away after they got back.
Oh, that was really nice. I would have chosen a different playlist, but yeah, that was a really cool concept because everyone is sleeping at the hotel and there's really like no place to have a party. They're giving you out these Bluetooth headsets, and everyone was just dancing with headsets.
4 different channels or 5 different channels you could tune into and listen to like the different radio stations, and everyone's like dancing, but like they're all dancing to different beats, but you know it doesn't matter because it's kind of like the same tempo. Everything's like all.
I like that.
Yeah, that was fun. It came out of nowhere. I didn't even know what was on the agenda.
It wasn't.
Also, if you're coming to Tesla Tech, bring your musical instruments. There are usually a couple people who come down there with guitars and stuff, and there are jam sessions that happen at night. So you can have an impromptu jam session in the courtyard after dinner. Dinner is usually a buffet. Like, we've never ran out of food there. Like when I was there.
Oh, it's pretty good.
It probably won't this time either. The only problem we had last time was with the chicken, you know, and we ran out of chicken. They put some chicken out there, and it's kind of on the raw side. So,
yeah, tell them to cook that chicken this time.
Yeah, well, just got to teach them how to cook it.
You also get like breakfast vouchers as well, and
no, you won't get any.
Pretty cool.
Breakfast is different this year. It's going to be a buffet.
Oh, we're having buffets this year? I like that idea.
Yeah, just go through just like a dinner. It's just like a dinner when it's going to be for breakfast. Yeah. And let's see what else we got going on. They're not giving out drink tickets this year. People weren't using them anyway. It was just costing counting against the rooms and that. But yeah, we got a pretty good deal out of this, you know.
Nice.
And we're also going to be there again for, next year too. So it's a 2-year contract, but it's a good hotel.
Yeah, it was a great hotel.
Yeah. And I just hope people, you know, will get in their heads, you know, I got to be there. You know, because once you make a decision to be somewhere, you will be there. You know, the problem that we have is that a lot of times, you know, people, you know, get wishy-washy, you know, and when you're like that, you know, it's not going to congeal and happen. You know, I don't care what you do. Once you make a decision to do something,
just pull the trigger on it and be like, look, dude, Tesla Tech, let's go out, let's just have a conference and, you know, come meet up with alien scientists and tell me what I'm doing wrong and how we're going to pull this together and as a team and make this happen, because we got to get off this planet. We got to fix this technology situation. We got to get these secret technologies that the government's been, you know, missing 21 trillion on, and we got to get like that money back to the people and that technology in the hands of the American people. And
what I feel the sorriest thing I see out there is SpaceX and them. You know, they should be focusing on real anti-gravity, funding your guys' research and that. You know,
they don't need a warp drive division,
and get rid of these chemical rockets. You know,
chemical rockets. Let's just keep reinventing chemical rockets and making them more. Like, how crazy and complex can we go with the chemical rockets and our tunnel boring system and our, you know, this train, the high speed, you know, hyperloop train.
You know, these boring machines and that. Well, my family comes from West Virginia, and we've been trying to get out of those mines. You know, go down in there. You know,
I mean, how much more obvious it when the guy that's posing to be the real Tesla, but is the fake Tesla, buys the Gab company. You know, he buys up Twitter can control the conversation. I mean, come on, what's going on here with this? You know, what's really going on? I'm curious. I would love to.
I don't think that Elon bought Twitter to make it free. I have to tell you the truth. I just don't buy into that. You know.
Yeah. Why do you think he bought Twitter?
To control the conversation.
Yeah, to control the conversation.
Yeah.
And it's the billionaires trying to control the conversation further, because I guarantee you that Tesla has a warp drive division. It's just not public. In fact, if I was the Manhattan Project 2.0, like, you know, obviously they're not going with NASA anymore because they realize that, you know, SpaceX and these private corporations could do it better. So I'm not going to go to Bigelow because he's too like hot and high, high profile. Maybe they would go to SpaceX, and maybe they would go to Elon. Man, it's kind of crazy to talk about. And this Tesla Tech conference, we're trying to talk about real Tesla Tech, and it's an obvious shadow ban. 51. You know, like normally I'm getting these. I bet you no one's. I posted this well ahead of time too, Steve. Well, Monday night's a slow night. You got to keep that in mind too. Not a lot of people have time to watch right now, so. That's something to keep in mind. Maybe we got to get you back on and keep hyping this conference up more. Let people know we're serious about this one. You know, like I feel bad because like I wanted to go down to that PA the Pennsylvania conference with Mark. And Mark, how was that conference, by the way?
It was okay. There wasn't that many people there, and it was mostly like talking about lights in the sky kind of thing.
Yeah. This is more like nuts and bolts conference, man. Like this
Tesla Tech is a nuts and bolts place.
This is our conference, bro. This is the conference for our channel and people like us. It's not like your UFO conference. People are, it's a different kind of scene, and it's about people trying to think differently about technology and different about nature, and it's just the right kind of vibe, man. And Albuquerque is a great city. It's, there's got some issues. If you go to the wrong areas, just stay out of those areas. And, if you stay in the right areas and do the right stuff, you're good. And it's a good city. And there's lots of stuff to do around. I went on the tram last time I was down there, and I went and hiked Mount Sandia. And I did the La Luz Trail. And it was an awesome, awesome hike. And lots of great scenery. Didn't see any bobcats, even though there were signs saying that they're out there. Didn't see any black bears or anything, but I didn't see any rattlesnakes either, man. I walked that whole trail, like 10 miles in the wilderness, and it was I didn't see any rattlesnakes. And I thought for sure, I'm like, yo, this is rattlesnake territory. This is like where I'm going to see a rattlesnake. I could just feel like there was a rattlesnake within 50 feet of me, but I didn't see one. Again, I think Steve's right. As long as you make enough noise, they hear you coming. They stay out of your way. So,
and where I used to live in Stanfield, not Stanfield, but Queen Valley, we had snakes in the yard all the time. That, and in our tomato garden.
Yeah.
And generally, what I do is I get the fire department there because those guys like collect them. And I get them cornered and everything, and get them in there, and they come and collect it.
Yeah.
They take it out in the middle of the desert and let it go. Because they do serve a purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not right to just exterminate him or, like.
But
Mark's got his dog.
Oh yeah, Pinky's hanging out here with us. So Jeremy, are we going to be going live tomorrow night to watch the congressional hearings?
Dude, we should. I want to, because those hearings are going to be key. We should at least live stream them, and I would love to just sit there and make commentary behind in the background, just to sit there and be like, all right, is this legit, or is this like a controlled farce that's all being put on like a show by the puppet masters behind the scenes, as lots of other people think? Who knows, man? I'm actually pretty optimistic for it. The New York Times article
Yeah, the New York Times article was quoting the main speakers. It was the undersecretary from the Navy and something similar from the Air Force. And when they said undersecretary, like, this is not the man in charge. This is the man second for the man in charge. And that's actually the person who has more power because he's not changing with every administration. He's been there for much longer. So he's more likely to be read in on the truth of the secret space program and the UFO history versus somebody who just came in with Biden. So
we got to do it. We got to stream the hearings tomorrow and talk about this and stuff. And we got to get Steve back on for more of these panels and stuff. I'm just going to start, Steve. I'm just going to start CCing you in the emails. I mean the things that go out, so you can get. If we do like these community live streams, you can come on and jump on and give your thoughts and stuff. Steve, you've actually done a number of things. I bought one of your books at the last Tesla Tech conference, and you signed it for me, which was awesome. And it was a book on HARP. You did some of the initial research into that whole HARP facility, which is, of course, I think it's shut down now, right?
Yeah, it's been shut down. And what they do, they turn the stuff over to a university, and then they still do their own version of experiments.
Yeah,
it's nothing like what they used to.
Yeah, I'm sure it started out super black, and it was just a lot of secret stuff going on. But now they get like, all right, well, we're gonna bring the Alaskan university students and into this to use this equipment to kind of pick up. We've already figured out all the useful stuff about how to disrupt OTH wireless over the horizon transmissions, which was the whole purpose of that weather research that I think the military was doing up there, was how to disrupt over the horizon radar and other signals intelligence.
Well, I think they went to better technology.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we do. We take these things, we use them until we find everything we need to know about it, and we try to shrink it down and come up with a more advanced version, But I don't think they've given up their efforts to do certain things. In fact, I think they increased it.
Do you have any insights or info on what they might be using now instead?
I think they're going to probably try to use it to work on some of this climate control watch, because we have a really big problem with climate, and then people.
God, have you ever had a spring this hot? Have you ever remembered one like this? Is like July temperatures, and we're in May.
Well, I think the Soviets were a lot more into this scalar technology back in the 80s than that. And I don't know if you remember when in the early 90s, when the entire Midwest flooded. I mean, the entire Midwest became a lake, because they put up a blocking signal there, and then this front would not move, and I think they're going to have to do something like that to get the water from the ocean onto the land, because out here, Lake Mead, I mean, that's where I live at, that is down like to 30% of what it should be. It has 30% capacity now.
Wow.
And I don't know why these people are building like they are. They're building like crazy, and there's no water here. And it's not going to get any better unless they do something. And I'm thinking they may have to turn to HARP. If you read that book, that first thing with that guy called me up in the middle of the night, and was telling me about how they could control hurricanes and everything. And that year, 11 hurricanes marched right up that coast, and not one of them touched land. And so I believe, they're capable of manipulating the weather with that,
Yeah, that's interesting. I know that it would be an obvious point of research for them to want to control that, for a number of
And I think some of the stuff is not really intentional. It's just inadvertent, like these ground wave emergency network.
Yeah, I'm curious to know, like, how good it is and how much it actually works.
Well, a Gwen Tower is basically we're going to have a nuclear war, okay? And we don't have regular communications using regular radio waves, and they have to send the signal through the Earth, okay, and which has to be a long signal.
Mm.
That's what your ground wave immersion network. Every time,
Tech, telluric currents. This is so like reminiscent of tech.
everywhere they have these Gwen Towers, you have an intensified weather. You know, the weather's more intense around those sites than anywhere else. So I think that the third tied in, but it could be just something that we observe and not something they intended. A lot of people give these people more credit than they're worth. A lot of these conspiracies, they give all these people credit, for thinking stuff out there. I don't. I think a lot of stuff, just happens. To go that way, they ran with it. It's not nothing that they plan out. Like me, I ended up in the military. I planned to be in the military, but I was in a position where I didn't have a job, didn't have no job prospects. We're in the middle of a recession back in '74, so I ended up in a recruiter's office, and then they wave that money in front of you, when you're like 19, and they're offering thousands of dollars, it's like, wow, you take it, but things are happen, but aren't necessarily planned. It just ended up that way. And in the military, no plan survives the first contact. And that's the when these people are talking about all this planning and everything. A lot of it is Matt started that plan, but
Shot in Falcon space.
Oops.
So anyway, all I can say is come to the show, learn, meet people. The most important thing that you can do is meet people, And
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, man. My cousin Matthews, signed up for the military like a year or so ago, and I was kind of shocked that he did. But there's nothing wrong with that, man. And that's
well, it may end up being the best decision he ever made. It was for me. Yeah,
I know a lot of people that saved their lives.
Yeah.
Like I know a number of people that like would have. I don't know where they would be if they didn't get signed up in the military and are doing what they're doing now. And one of them has a 20-year intelligence career in the Marines. So he's doing what he needs. He's doing good things, like better things than he would have been doing otherwise. I'll tell you that.
Well, the one thing about the military, and it's kind of like true with our kind of people, our groups here, is it's kind of like a family, okay? And I didn't even retire. The VA still takes care of me, and like, once you're part of a family, you're always family, and people always come around and help you out, and that's what I'm hoping to establish, with these conferences. That is a sense of family, because we should be, not everybody thinks like we do,
Dude, I gotta present a Tesla Tech. I'm gonna talk with Steve about it behind the scenes, and we're not gonna do anything here. Not gonna announce anything, but don't be surprised if you see me on that schedule, because I'm definitely
the schedule will be on my website. So in fact, there is a schedule up there right now.
I'm gonna start working on this now so that it's ready by.
I'll get with you tomorrow.
When is the conference again, Steve?
The conference is at the end of July. Oh no, early August, August 10th
August 10th to the 14th.
And but right now I gotta get this program to be printed because it has to go to the printer, and then we have to get it in the mail. And that's come pushing so hard to get this thing done.
Steve, are there any new big speakers this year?
I never know who's a big speaker till it happens. We do have a guy by the name of Thomas Bailey, and he'll be talking more like carbon 60 and then the nanocarbon. That's going to be a biggie. And then the Marco is coming. I don't know if you know Marco Roden. Marco is a personality unto himself. And he will have a whole following there on this vortex-based mathematics. And I'm sure Might have seen
I
these.
met Marco, man. It was a crazy conversation that night with Marco, man.
So Mark will be there.
Far
And here
out.
at other conferences, usually Del Pond is going to be there, and wow, Russell Anderson, and Russell always has some stuff.
Oh, Russell has a he got a Gravity Flyer from Mr. Gravity Flyer himself, Alexei Chegarkov, and hopefully he'll bring that in and get it working for us. That will be big. And Charles Crawford has one as well. He might be coming in from Texas. That'll be sweet.
And then we have a wild card here, Stephen Ward Sr., and he'll be talking about the Ward Force, and his magnetic technology, which he thinks will lead to anti-gravity and everything. And he has a demonstration, so we'll see it. Yeah,
we definitely need a bigger APEC presence at Tesla Tech and a bigger table and some more people, down. That was cool. They had Kepler Aerospace there last year. I hope those guys come again this year. That would be awesome.
I'm sure they will, but be at the last second. That's why I hate them. I wish people would plan earlier, to help us out. The last second is a big help, but still.
Get on this now if you guys really want to come and get your spots set up, because man, this conference could fill up. That whole hotel could be booked up, and then you like, who knows? We get one guest who sees this podcast and signs up, and then they bring 20,000 people. It's like no, you should have signed up when you had the chance, man, because we're blowing this thing up this year.
And the other thing to make it more affordable is if you have a friend you can split a room with, all of a sudden instead of $80 a night, it's $40 a night.
$80 a night is still almost nothing. Like you're getting a beautiful hotel and you're getting a buffet and everything. It's a great value.
Yeah, if you're going to take a vacation this year, this is it.
The normal rate is like $120. That's the government rate, and that's without breakfast. So we're getting a real good deal.
Definitely think about it. And Steve, we're going to have you back on again in another couple weeks to talk about.
We appreciate it. And I'd like to give a big thank you to everyone out there, because you helped us get over 1,000 back in Christmas. And we really appreciate that. So
1,000 subscribers, right? On the
1,000 subscribers. We're at 2,300 right now. And but you had to get that 1,000 and the 4,000 views. The views are going crazy, Oh
yeah, you got a ton of really great old content on there, and that people are, I'm still digging over a lot of it. So, yeah, guys, go to Tesla Tech, subscribe, join the channel as a member if you can. I'm going to be setting up I got to set up members on Alien Scientists to do all that. I've been slacking. I just hate it, like people saying, "Oh, you're doing it for the money," and I want to be completely nonprofit, and so that people can know that I'm doing this for the right reasons.
Even if you're nonprofit, you need to charge, because
so hard.
You have to pay the rent somehow for the stuff.
I did so much work into this, and I'm doing streams every night. I'm doing a stream tomorrow night. I've done a stream like every night. I did the eclipse last night. And it's like, what am I getting for this? A couple super chats. It's all right, and I appreciate the people that do drop the super chats and stuff, and I love all of you and reading them out, and I'm more than happy to read your questions or comments out in the chat if I see them, and they're good regardless if you don't have money to donate or not. Yeah, I need to fire up those memberships. Totally.
$10 is
Alien Girl will also probably be there. I think she lives in Albuquerque, so this is.
Oh yeah.
And I work a full-time job. I do.
Yeah.
It's not easy. We all know.
Well, I live on Social Security, and a lot of times my Social Security check goes in to help covering what we have to cover to keep this thing alive.
Yeah.
But like I said, I ran a nonprofit, and it's Tesla Society, and my best year there, I grossed $1 million there, but that in itself caused problems because you start getting stabbed in the back and everything, it's just like. But you need that kind of money to do certain things, and one is we want to have a facility where we could put like the paper archives. I mean, I don't know if you ever heard of Vestal Laboratories. You know, back in 1974, this guy, uh, George Vestal, goes to Washington, D.C., okay, when they had the Privacy Act just come out back in 1974. And he copied everything he could find on the German scientist interviews on energy and physics. And I could get that I could get that archive if I had a place to put it. You know, it's been promised to me. So we'll see what happens. So, and there's Nerd Warrior.
Nerd Warrior gave us $2. He's totally stoked about the topics on this chan. Dude,
And,
I'm totally stoked too. I've been stoked for like 17 years now, and I'm never gonna stop because this is
every penny counts. Every
Jeremy,
penny.
you know how many people have mentioned that they got into UFOs and aliens and all this stuff from your channel?
well, I'm glad because
it's an inspiration for so many people. It's
I hope
amazing.
more people, man. We gotta keep it growing. I gotta figure out the best way to. We gotta like really streamline the information and put like 10-minute videos out, really just breaking it down for the layman, because it's hard. It's hard getting new people into this, and then like it's so much information. It's like overload.
It's the editing that you need to do.
Dude, I went to a wake for my friend's dad that died, and I saw a bunch of people I haven't seen in like 20 years and stuff, like people I knew from high school and stuff. It was, and one of them was like, "Oh, I saw you on Tim Pool," and so it's like getting out there a little bit, but it's crazy, when I talk to them about everything that's going on. It's just like it's so much.
Well, what gets me is people pay like thousands of dollars for a Super Bowl ticket.
I know. A Super Bowl ticket.
To
go to the Super Bowl
for an hour's worth of entertainment.
Guys throw around a ball for 4 hours. And a bunch of the best ball throwers in the world.
That's okay, but like
that's cool.
How's that compared to like $10 to say for a membership for videos, which is educational, for a month?
I know. It's not. It's up to the people if they're not interested or they're not willing to learn and do put in the time and the research and it's crazy though. I agree. It's nuts how you pay $1,000 for a Super Bowl ticket, baby. It's so hard to get people to donate like a little bit or even just commit to come to a conference to learn about technology that could save all of humanity.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if you're a rocket scientist or not. The important thing is that you come to the conference, try to learn about it and everything, because a lot of stuff, the first step to something happen is people have to believe it. And if enough people believe it, then it will happen. So even if you aren't technically inclined, come and try to at least see what's happening. Be aware of your surroundings.
You got to get a big celebrity, Steve. You got to get like someone who's famous, like Joe Rogan or Elon Musk or like even Snoop Dogg. Can we invite Snoop Dogg?
I would be more inclined to invite Snoop Dogg, to tell you the truth.
Good call. I'm right with you there on that one.
Or Willie Nelson, he'd be okay. What they have in common, don't you?
What's Willie doing? He's still alive. Let's get Keith Richards and Willie down there.
Well, Snoop Dogg and Willie Nelson got busted at the same customs station there, east of El Paso there. El Blanco or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah. I've been.
I must say, if you're going to, if you're a weed connoisseur and you're into smoking marijuana, like I'll tell you what, the best growing conditions are out in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's got the altitude and it's got the dry climate. The medical grade weed out there that I got from the dispensary while I was out there was out of this world. And so it's the best and the best. I've been to Colorado. I've been to California. We were out at Alien Con and I got the best of the best dispensary bud out there. It doesn't compare. Albuquerque just destroys on their grow, the quality that's out there. So Just gonna say, if anyone's into that, I know there are a number of people who prefer um, plant-based medications to alcohol or other alternatives. So just letting people know.
Yeah.
Canada, you know what? Actually, I got to go to British Columbia and some of these other places. I've heard good things about them too. Yeah, they're a high altitude as well. I think it's the altitude which really is a key to the cultivation and the technique. So, oh yeah, oh my, really? We're talking about that now? It's 2022. It's only legal in like half the country, but whatever.
I have
It
this.
was too long in coming, you know. They should have legalized it a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
And and I'm not even a guy. I don't even smoke.
No, never, Steve.
It's not my thing, you know.
Nope.
I tried it, you know, when I was young, you know, but it puts you to sleep, and once behind,
It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody, and I'm sorry for bringing that up during because it's just, but there are a lot of people in my audience I know who are 420 friendly, including some people that came out to the conference and they were like, I had to smuggle this on the plane. Oh, I don't have to worry about that. Albuquerque's cool, man.
I guess the main thing about the hotel though is inside it's non-smoking, so
there's no smoking in the hotel, but I tell you what, you can go outside and the smoking sections outside, and you know what?
it's
not the it's whatever. It's not about any of that.
Staying in the hotel grounds pretty much, I'm just trying to think,
oh, we're gonna get banned from the hotel if we bring Snoop Dogg there, right?
I'm thinking
I understand the concern, Steve.
Think about the neighborhood.
To this hotel, and we have a bunch of cannabis smokers there. They might not invite you back next year, and you already have that contract signed. And
yeah, I already have. Don't worry about them. My biggest issue though is with the neighborhood. And there's it can be edgy at times, But I've seen edgier.
It could happen, Nate. Nate was there last year, but just imagine this year, right? It might happen. Yeah, I'm not going to name any names or anything there, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. They just don't allow smoking inside the hotel, which I agree with. To a large.
No, I totally can vibe with that. And we'll totally.
It's a nice hotel, though, and I mean, I hope they have the restaurant across the street open next year. I don't know, Little Anita's. That's a good New Mexican restaurant there. COVID really destroyed a lot of industries here.
Oh God, it's so true. Everywhere. No, I think that was the part of the plan. I mean,
I don't think it was a plan. I think this guy
going to be worse.
Got ahead of him. I was supposed to have a speaker on this project, and what they do is they send these weather balloons to the upper reaches of the atmosphere and snag all the bugs they can and bring them back down to Earth. I wouldn't be surprised if one of those bugs is what really happened, and everything else is just a cover story, because they sure can't get a handle on this thing.
It was certainly a weird virus, man. I caught it. It was definitely not like anything natural or normal that I've ever had. A simple mutation just doesn't explain what that thing did. And I know a lot of people that have like lost memory, had memory problems, like it's really messed up a lot of people mentally as well as the physical and psych effects that's caused. And then of course, we have the government that stepped in and did a lot of stuff too, and they destroyed a lot of stuff too, just the government response and everything, and how much of that was effective in actually hindering the spread or of the virus is arguable. It's hard to say, man, whether the freedoms and the liberties that we gave up to control a virus were really worth that the price we paid.
I don't know, but I knew there was going to be a problem in November of 2019. Yeah, because they were talking about the military. The Chinese military was disinfecting the streets. And I was in the military, and I was also trained for NBC, nuclear biological chemical. And you don't use terms like disinfectant unless you're dealing with a biological agent, And then it's like, gee, this is pretty serious, And then they built that hospital in 11 days. I don't know if you remember seeing that, They even have like a time-lapse video of it online there where they built it in 12 days, It's insane, And they saw it coming. I think it was worse than anything they could even imagine in their wildest dreams, And that's how come they did what they did. And now, ironically, China's still getting slammed by it, to the point where they're shut down entire cities, So I think someday we'll have a handle on it, but it'll just be like the common cold, and you're going to end up getting it every year, or run the risk of getting it. My daughter got it twice. My granddaughter got it. I think I had it before it was named COVID. But I just keep my distance with everybody now. And I don't like people breathing in my face. But, and I noticed like when I went to San Mateo, some people wore masks and some didn't, This one guy who didn't, he kept breathing in my face, just really, it's kind of pissing me off, I don't need to smell someone's halitosis, which is the best side effect of the mask, It helps you. I knew a guy.
I did a lot for cleanliness too. Like I just noticed that like 7-Elevens and drink machines and other stuff like that was just a lot better upkept,
But then the hotels are taking too much advantage. Like don't clean the rooms anymore unless you request it, And they kind of want to push it off on COVID, but they should be beyond that now. They should be cleaning them up just like they used to, But they're trying to save money, So, but I need to get going here.
Yeah, man, let's wrap this up. We're almost at 2 hours. I can't believe it. Like the time just flies. We start talking about all these topics, and you have so much content here on Tesla Tech's website, on your YouTube channel. Guys, go check out this YouTube channel, Tesla Tech Info. There's tons of great stuff here if you're whatever you're interested in. And thank you so much, Steve, for joining us on the live stream tonight. Thank you so much for Mark and Pinky, the lab dog, for also joining us on the live stream tonight.
And, Tom and Jatine are here.
Yeah, Tom and
Jatine is a new lab assistant.
oh, hey, man, what's up, man? I haven't met you before, so nice to meet you. Yeah, this is cool. I can't wait to see the results of those experiments from last night. Anything that you come up with from those microgravity experiments during the
I was going over them with the microscope as you guys were talking too, just to give you a little.
Yeah, I saw that in the background. I wish I had like interrupted to give you some context of what you were showing. We should do another stream separate and talk about that. Maybe get a summary prepared of everything so we can kind of just go over everything real quick. Any discoveries? Anything cool?
So far, there was some metal that melted inside of the. So there was like a hole in one of the crucibles. So this ended up inside the melt chamber, and the grain on it is like pointing toward where the moon would have been. So that's pretty interesting. They're all like parallel. I think this is bismuth, by the way.
Interesting. Look at those striations. Yeah, let me just bring that up full screen real quick. Yeah, that's interesting. If that's the direction that the moon would have been. I mean, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to test this again for 530 years. There won't be another lunar eclipse like that for quite a while, or something I heard. But yeah, maybe. And then also the microgravity. We had this is
the microscope view of that.
That's interesting, man. Those are really straight, and I'd love to see like this gives us a lot of preparation to think about, for preparing for the next one of these, to how we can set up the experiments better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely, because there was a lot of questions and comments and concerns. Would be people like, "Oh, well, Mark's sitting there pounding this thing on the desk, and that whole table's got vibration through it, because it's all plywood. So like obviously the vibration that he's causing is a much greater force than the moon and would be causing. So is there like we gotta do all this to eliminate all those side effects and other things that people were pointing out. But it's great science. It's great, getting the community together for these experiments and stuff, because no one's smarter than all of us together. Steve, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Guys,
you.
get to Tesla Tech this summer.
Okay.
2022, August 10th, 14th, and hopefully we'll see you there. And we'll do a live stream again soon, talking about it and giving you guys an update. Hopefully we'll get some more speakers and fill those slots. Maybe I'll even fill one of those slots by the next time we present and promote the conference. And we'll see. Hopefully I'll see you guys there. And good night and keep the faith, man. We're all in this together on this little blue pale dot.
Peace out.
So, see you guys later.
Anything to say before we shut it down?
Just have a good night. Get some rest.
Perfect.
I'll be in touch tomorrow.